I'm Ilse Diament. I was born in Germany. My birthday is October 2nd, 1928.
Where were you born, Ilse?
I was born in Germany, in Christfelde. It's a little village. We lived there, my parents, my sisters, brother, and my grandmother. We were 5 children, and the grandmother living in that village, in that house. We had two houses, one where we lived, and one was a Gastwirtschaft. It's like a little hotel, a liquor store, and a little apartment, supermarket. In 1937, my Jewish children, we were the only Jewish family in that village. In 1937, Jewish children couldn't attend to the Christian school, so my parents had to send my sister and me and my brother and I to a big city, Stettin, where they had a Jewish school.
Where did you live in Stettin?
Oh, my parents had paid a family to take care of myself and my sister, and my brother went to the orphan home. One of my sisters left to Israel in 1937, and the other, she went to the last Jugendaliyah to Israel. It was in December 1939, through Trieste, in Italy.
When did you first realize how bad things were getting? How dangerous it was going to be there?
When my father was arrested. My father was arrested in the Kristallnacht. And how they start to burn the synagogues, breaking all the windows from the Jewish people. And my father was arrested and other men, and he came to Buchenwald. But then it was already too late. We couldn't move out to other country. My parents had the chance to go to Shanghai with her mother, sister, and brother.
That would have been your aunt.
Yes, but my mother never wanted to separate the children. She wanted to go together. So they stayed behind.
That piece of the family survived, that went to Shanghai?
Yes.
Where are they now?
In Stockton. My grandmother died. She was very old. And my aunt and uncle are still there. Okay, now I want to tell you what happened to me in Stettin. On 13th of February 1940, I was doing my homework, and suddenly it knocked on the door very hard, and they forced to open the door. The lady who took care of me said, "Open the door." I opened the door, and 5 SS Nazis came in with guns and very rude to us. And they gave us an order that we have to pack in 30 minutes everything, whatever we can take, and we have to go out. And the lady asked, "Where are we going?" They said, "I will tell you later." So then I didn't know, I was so mixed up, I didn't know what to pack. I put only other sweater on myself and a pair of pants, and I took my canary bird, what is given from my parents to my 10th birthday, and the photo album from my parents. And the Gestapo asked me, "Why are you taking this bird?" I said, "I like him very much. I want to take him with me wherever I go. I take him because it was a present." So he said, "Okay, if you like him so much, I want to show you what I will do."
It's all right.
He took the bird out from the cage. He turned the head right in front of me. I was only 11 years old. And said, like the bird died, "You will die too." And it was such an impression to me. I didn't know what was going on. So I had earrings in my years. They took it out from me. And also the album just jumped on the floor. I said, I have no parents here. That's the only thing what I have. He said, you will see everybody there where I take you. Okay, I was very frightened. And I was crying a lot. Because that's what I really loved the most. My dolls and my birds. Took it away already. So outside, we went down the stairs. And outside the house, apartment, we saw lots of trucks standing already, lots of people over. And we have to go, they pushed us up fast, dude, fast. So I asked the people, where are we going? They said, we don't know. And they were crying and they didn't know by themselves. So they took us to the cattle railroad station. Then we were standing until they unloaded everybody. I saw from far away my brother coming to me. So he was screaming, Ilse, Ilse. When I was screaming, Erwin, this was my brother. And he wanted to run to me. And I said to them, we were, full of SS were around us. And I begged him, please let me go to my brother. So later he said, no. And I saw from far away, not too far away, that one of the Nazis took from the gun, from the, not the front, from the back, on the head, and he fell down full of blood.
Full of blood. That was the
last time I saw my brother. And we were 4 children, 4 girls and 1 brother. I was very, very close to him. Can you please close?
Ilse, from there you went over to the cattle train station.
We came to a hall, and they gave us large sacks full of sweet and salty stuff, like salami, and I don't remember, lots of stuff. They did it on purpose, because they didn't give us any water. They wanted us to, when we are hungry, to eat. And when there's no water, you're dying. Okay. And then we have to write down our name and where we were born and so and so. So we went in the cattle, in the wagons. And we went there for 3 days and 3 nights. It was the coldest winter, whatever could be, many, many years. So lots of babies died because they didn't have anything to drink. And lots of younger and older people too. But later I became very hungry and I started to eat something. But I was all by myself. The lady was next to me, but she said, come on, I have my own chores, I cannot take care of you. So I was disappointed again.
This was the lady that you stayed with?
Yes. Then suddenly she was disappointed because my parents didn't pay her anymore. So I had found my friends and other people. And I started to eat. It was very, very thirsty. But I know because people said, don't eat. You will be hungry, you will be thirsty, and you will die. But I was very, very hungry. So how can you stay 3 days without any food? Okay, and after 3 days, we went through Poland. And then we stopped in Lublin Pova. They threw us out like animals from the wagon, cattle wagon. And the only thing what I saw is snow, and from the water was ice things. And I didn't care about anything. I was just so thirsty. And lots of people I saw dead because they shoveled the dead people out. And I was taking some snow. If they would catch me, I would be shot right away because I saw other people were eating, and the snow became a waterbed, blood bed, full of blood. So then there was huge soldiers there from the army, and they gave us hot water and some bread to eat.
From the Polish army?
Yes. And then we were again in one large hall, and they put us in 3 different kind of villages. I came to Belgice with 600 people, I think.
But from Stettin, what were there? How many people?
From Stettin, 1,300.
And how many survived?
7. I'm under them. And it's a fact because after the war we had lists. And they found out then from every city, from every country, how many survivors are. And the fact is I never met anybody else. Okay, then I was selected to go to, with 600 other people, to Belgice, that is not far from Lublin. First it was a private life, you know, we were under with Jewish people. Then it became a ghetto. And then became worse and worse. Then it was I cannot say too many things because it's too much. But I want to tell the important thing what really affected me very much. We didn't have enough water. I think they did it on purpose. And we had to go outside to take water from a well. That is, you know what a well is, well with water. And it was my turn to take water, because to bring it in the barrack for the Jewish people. So I went outside, and I saw lots of Germans standing around the well, and it was laughing, and I saw dead people. But I couldn't understand what had happened. So they said I should go right away, los, in German. So I took the pail, and there's a chain, and I go down, and I looked where the pail is already next to the water. And I start to fill it up, and want to put it up, and I think I was halfway or something, I don't know. Suddenly I became shaking so much, and I couldn't take my hands off. And I don't know what happened. I woke up. That was not a dream, but it was true. And the people in the barrack where I was laying down, they said, "You are so lucky. They wanted to kill you because the Nazis said los." It means they connect the well with wires to the barn. And for that I was electric. And until today, when I see or feel something close electrics, I'm shaking, I'm getting hysterical. I cannot touch anything. Nobody can understand it. It was very hard. Okay. Can you stop now?
Okay. Let's see. There was a ghetto, and you went on to a larger selection.
Okay.
I think
In
the spring of '43.
Yeah, in ghetto was lots of selection, and the German most of the time they did it the 13th of the month. That was a lucky number. For that, and also my arm number is 13, but it's not. Okay. The biggest selection was in
spring of '43.
Yeah, springtime. I don't remember because we didn't have calendar.
Was that about the first time you ran into Feigs?
To Feigs.
Yeah. You want to say who he was?
It was in springtime, and suddenly we heard early in the morning, very early, could be like 5 o'clock, motorcycles, German, they came with the motorcycle, and next to the motorcycle they had I don't know how you call it. Somebody can sit there too.
Sidecar.
Sidecar, yes. And noises and shooting. We looked out, and outside it was dark, but they ran right away, the Ukrainer ran in the barracks, raus, fest. We have to go on Appellplatz. We saw also all the ghetto around were lots of Ukrainer in black, SS, I don't know what it was, Volksdeutsche. And Feigs, Sturmbannführer, came in with a revolver. So he said, he came first, we have to stand on the Appellplatz. Then he went to we had a barrack for sick people. He went there and shot everybody with his own gun, pistol in the head. And we all have to carry out later the bodies. That was the first, the first time not the first time I saw brains and all kind of stuff. But we have to take it outside. Then he took the men, and they had to go next to the synagogue and to dig a very tall massengrave. Then we know already what happened. Then were outside lots of trucks with German soldiers and Ukrainer. And then he took, the Sturmbannführer Fikes ordered from the mothers to give take away the children. He took the children, the babies, one by one from the mother's arm in front of us. Took the baby's body. Again. Smashed them on the wall, and they were dead.
Right in front of the mothers.
Now I cry more than before because I'm a mother myself. It was so terrible, but we know we all will get killed. And was screaming and also praying, Shema Yisrael, God help us. But nobody helped us. Then the Sturmbannführer and the other guy came and selected young women and the men. And we went up on the trucks. But we have to see everything before. I was lucky they selected me to go on the truck.
Did you think you were going to be in that grave?
No, I didn't think because I saw people. Then he ordered all the people to undress himself. So I said, I don't want to tell you again. If I would be together with my family, I would never, never separate from them. Like my mother did. She said she would never leave the children alone. They want to die together or to be alive together. And because I was by myself, and the lady who took care of me didn't want to know about me. So we had all to see. We were on the truck with soldiers, with guns. And then we saw all the naked people, women, children, and men, were standing around the Massengrab, and he said again, los, Achtung, fertig, los. The Sturmbannführer Fikes. In one hand he had vodka, something to drink, and then he had a pistol, not machine gun. And he ordered lots of the Ukrainer to come next to him with machine guns. So they were shooting like, and he was so happy when he saw people didn't die and were still alive. And then he gave the order, push them all in. The huge men, before they went on the trucks, they have to bury the bodies. And so many people were screaming. Tell the people what happened to us. Where is God? Why nobody helps us? And tell the people what happened. Whatever, you will be free. That is, I have a number what is given by me in Auschwitz. Many people told me to remove the, not to remove the number, not to be remember on the terrible days and nights. So I said, no, I can't do it because I have still the picture in front of me.
So this is a very important part of your
very
life.
Important to remember and listening to screaming. We are not dead. Shoot us. Tell the people what happened to us. And I have to tell. But who wanted to know? Who wanted to help? Nobody. For him to do it. I know too many people who went into the grave and were very, very painful. But we didn't cry too much on the truck. We were like paralyzed. It couldn't go out a tear. Yes, praying in Hebrew. God, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Help us, God. Look what happened. My parents were religious. My father never went to work without praying, you know, putting all these things out.
Good people.
We were good people, we helped poor people. Why did it happen to us? Because we didn't go from Germany, we didn't know about it, and when it was too late, we couldn't go anymore. Can I stop now? I know. I'm sorry, I cannot. Story, but most of the story, because I own that to those people.
That's right.
They're innocent, young, or old children. It could be a generation, smart like Einstein and other people. And they wanted to wipe out the whole Jewish thing. And also very religious people. And I couldn't understand why that happened. Okay, I don't know how many trucks there were. We came to camp. It was an Arbeitslager first, Butzin. That was in the forest. That was the first time. Beljice was the first time. It was not in the forest. It was next to the temple. Now we in the forest. Later came a KZ. I worked very hard, like always, and I don't know anybody, because I didn't know. My friends were already away from me, from Beljice. I had no girlfriends anymore.
Where did your friends go?
From Beljice.
Where
they
did
were shot in the grave. I never saw them again. One child was still there. So her name was Eva Mosbach. She's still alive. She's in New York now. Okay, in Butzin, we were there a year and a half, I think. So we didn't have a calendar. I only remember if it was summer or cold or winter or something. And one day, they did lots of selections again. We were standing in Appellplatz and we were counting, and if they thought this one has to be killed or something, they took it out and killed, or somebody was tall, or somebody was shy, like they want, like their mood. And one day, it was like, I don't know, fall, I think. We were standing on Appellplatz, and the Sturmbannführer came to us and said, Mützen ab and all the stuff, and he said, are here Jewish children? German, not Jewish, are the German children? So I raised my hand. So he said I should come ahead. So I thought I will get shot. But he said, you stay with me. Then he took the other people and went with them to Massengrab, grave, and shot them. And he told me and 3 other people to go out from the camps, outside, and I have to clean up his apartment, where he and the SS was then living. Then I got food, and I got a white dress, not a dress, it's like a uniform. And I was outside the camp because he said, Jewish people in the camp, they are dirty, and I should be clean. So, after the while, we went to Majdanek.
But there were 3 other German...
Oh yeah, the 3 other
people.
families, they lived also outside the camp, and we all were together. And there were one girl, she's still around, she lives in Hannelore Wolf is her name. She lives in Long Beach. And she was like, she was teaching me and giving us hope. One day we'll come out and we will be free, and at least you will forget about the bad things, and you will be a smart young lady. So they're teaching us. Sometimes we thought we will not come out. But I had such a heavy feelings, because the screaming in Beljice gave me hope. Not only hope, strength. I have to tell the people, because those people cannot talk anymore. And who knows if other people will be surviving, and I have to tell the story. And this carried me on from one day after day.
From one camp to another.
And from one camp to the other. I didn't know how many camps I will go. Okay, then we all have to go inside the camp, and it was a very, very last evacuation.
This was Majdanek. Huh?
And we have to walk to Lublin, Majdanek. The professor, Dr. Gutmann, was with me in the same march. He told me we went that march too. And also, what is his name from the lodge? March. Her husband, Toby March, was on the Pelplatz in Budzin, and he heard that when the Sturmbannführer asked for German children, and he knows it's only me. He heard it too, but he went with us to the march. Okay, we all went. First we went to Krasnik. It's not far from them. Lots of Nazis with trained dogs went with us. And who wanted to run away got shot on the spot. It was impossible. We couldn't run away.
Is that when you saw the rape?
No, that was in Majdanek. And we came to Krasnik, and not from, that was also camp. And from Krasnik, they took us, not far away was a brick factory. I remember it was a large ladder, and lots of people, but the German gave an order to go up, and they got burned, screaming, unbelievable. And it was my turn to go up the step. And suddenly I heard when the Germans said, the Nazis said, and the Wehrmacht, the soldiers, get down fast. We heard already cannons from the Russian all around. We have to run away. And we have to run, and I lost my shoes. And it was it was end of summer. I remember, because the fields, they got cut off the wheat, what's the name?
The grass, the hay?
No, the grain. And it was so high, it was stuck in my feet, but we have to run. And we went there until we came over the river, it's called Weichsel. And then on the way there, I couldn't make it anymore. I was so weak. And two men, I don't remember who it was, young men, felt sorry for me and lifted me up, because when somebody was weak or fell down, got shot right away. And they saw that, because we were armed so heavily. They lifted me up and they said, come on, you will make it. And you will make it. And I said, I don't know. And then they spoke in Polish. But I learned a little bit Polish in the camps. I couldn't write, but I learned a little bit. I said, can you talk German? So he talked Jewish with me. And he carried me. When he saw that one of the Wehrmacht Nazis saw that I was carried, he put me down fast. So he gave me a push, come on, and hold my hands, and we walked. And then we got some food and water, and then they put us to the Kettle Railroad station, and they pushed us very fast. They opened the doors and they pushed us in, and they said, nobody knows where we're going. Suddenly we heard somebody, Auschwitz, and they said, it's a Vernichtungslager. Okay, we came to Auschwitz, and we marched there inside. And again, they select me to the death, Dr. Mengele. And, oh yeah, I found my girlfriend. And she was standing in line with me, with her sister. And their sister was supposed to go to the gas chamber. I knew that it's a gas chamber because I knew it from Lublin Majdanek. the heavy doors with the sealed. I know that exactly. I know what it is. And she said her name was Hilde Drucker, and the sister's name was Ilse Drucker, and we were very close to each other. And I said, they said, Ilse, the little one has to go in. So the sister said, no, I'm going in too. So I said, Hilde, please stay, not please, in German, stay with me. She said, no, I cannot. I have to go with my sister. So only one what I have left. So, before you go to die, you don't feel anything. I know I was so light. I had, like a bird. I didn't think about nothing. And at that time, lots of transports came from Hungarian. And it was such a mix-up by the crematorium, because they didn't have time, there came so many, to put them in and out. And the people were still alive. So I thought myself, what should I do? But it came so suddenly, like somebody told me to do something. See, and I felt so light, not my body. And I took the dead people over my body, because they were naked and I was naked. And afterwards they took the dead people away, but it was not far, were standing other people for getting the number and shaving the hair. First shaving hair and getting number and information of who you are. So girls ran to me, and they saw that I'm moving, I'm still alive, and pushed me right away to them. But I saw the bodies, it was unbelievable.
So you'd been hidden under those bodies, Ilse.
I was like paralyzed, I didn't know anything. Yeah. I saw so many faces, open eyes looking at me. I said, boy, the dead.
The girls that pulled you away over to where they were, did you know them?
No, I don't know any. My girlfriend, my only girlfriend, went too.
But they knew to save you.
She saved me. I don't know how she pushed me away. I was crying, I remember. And they took my hand and slapped me to the place. Again, and like very, very good happened.
You say a miracle happened?
Like a miracle. I don't know. I was already, I don't know, I wanted to die. I didn't want to die. Because what I saw, that keeps me alive. So then they took information who I am. And then we got our, we came to a room where they shaved all our hair. And then in the other room, they gave you the numbers here. Do I have to show them? No.
You showed it already.
I showed, oh yeah, yes. And then they gave us those white, blue striped dress, only one dress, one underwear, no bra, nothing. And they gave us some food that we should not have our,
Your periods.
Yes. And some soup. And they selected us to work, to be working. But they treated us like animals, because just animals had two numbers. They didn't call us by name, just numbers, animals.
What was the work that you did there?
In Auschwitz. I worked, we came to barracks, they were selecting us like German people, and Holland people, from Dutch, and all generations. And I worked with Holland people. There were 5 girls. We have to take from the crematorium. They had lots of toilets. I don't know how you say that in English.
Latrine.
Latrine?
Latrine.
Yes, we have to take it. They had a wagon with a big, where you put in like gasoline,
Tanks.
Yeah. And instead horses, we have to carry it full, very heavy work, and not good, food was such a piece of bread, and a little bit margarine and soup, and in the morning hot coffee, not real coffee, it's water coffee, whatever it was. And we have to carry that out very far outside the camp for the field, just to make us working hard. They didn't need that really. Then I was working in the crematorium to open all the by the dresses and by the sleeves here, all the seams, and to find gold or money or notes, all kind of stuff. And then I was working with the grass commando. They had such pieces of grass. We have to take 5 pieces of grass and went outside the camp and to make a lawn. And I was working cutting big rocks with a hammer. There were lots of girls, and we were talking. Some people talked Polish, some Russian, some other language. I couldn't understand them. But we were all in one boat, you know, we were all together. So most of them, I never smiled. I didn't know what to smile is. I think never in my life in the camps I was smiling. And then they took people out. Yeah, I was in the children commando. And I was
How did you get to the orchestra?
Oh, the orchestra. Okay, it was biggest evacuation, and there were still people left over. But I remember it was in October. And there was the Lagerkommandant Josef Kramer, that was his name. He liked the orchestra. How I met the orchestra, I was in Strafkommando once. They were next to the gate where you go outside to the other camps. And I was taking one potato fell down from a wagon. And instead to shoot me, they put me in Strafkommando. I was standing with my knees down where the orchestra were playing and hold here 2 bricks and here 2 bricks for 3-4 hours. And if I would move, I would be right to be killed. But I was so strong, I don't know who gave me the strength. Now I understand why I was strong. Because my parents are not alive anymore. And I believed my parents, my mother, somebody watched them. I felt so believed so strongly. But I didn't know they are dead. Okay, and then I found they were singing all German songs, and I met them there. And I thought, then we were selecting. And I saw on the right side, the girls from the orchestra were there. And on the left side where I was selected, I didn't see them. So I thought myself, come on, if that must be dead, because I went to many camps, I'm sure that where I'm standing is dead. And I smuggled myself to and nobody from the people wouldn't say, you don't belong here. Everybody was, when they find somebody to help out, they took them in. They helped me. They gave me courage. Like, come on, come on. They pushed me also to them. So we came together to Bergen-Belsen, in Germany. Also in the woods, it's called Lüneburger Heide. The Germans did everything in the woods because they were afraid in the cities or someplace else it will break out a pest or something, sickness. So they did it in the forests. I think so. We came.
The question was. But the question was around the orchestra and how they took care of you when you had the typhus.
Oh yeah. Okay, we came to Bergen-Belsen. First, we didn't have barracks. It was tents. It was so cold, windy. And I was together with Germans in Holland and Danish. Not Danish,
Dutch.
Dutch. And
including Anne Frank. Huh?
Yeah. And next to me, because I was the same age like Anna Frank, she was next to me. I didn't know who Anna Frank is. She just mentioned her name, Anna Frank. That I remember. She was a very quiet girl. She was crying all the time. And I told her not to cry. We will survive. We were never laughing. But I was not crying. I couldn't cry. I said, don't cry. We will survive. And I told her the story about those people in Belgice. And we have to be strong to live up. But I remember she told me that nobody from her family is alive. She was by herself. She told me she had a lava once and all kind of stuff. And I didn't know what means lava because I didn't have that. I forgot to tell you from Majdanek. It doesn't matter, okay. Okay, then they had some barracks and we came in the barracks. I used to work there by the airplane Fallschirme, you know, the ropes that we have to, when somebody comes down from the airplane, parachute. And there was a lady, she was laying next to me on the, it wasn't the bed, you know, where we were sleeping. And she said, what is my name? And I told her. She said, you know what? I remember your father. I said, how you remember your father? She said, I had 2 children, twins. We went together on the they sent my children to Israel from Trieste, and your father, he took your sister also to Israel. And I met him there. Your father was not praying, how do you call that? You know, a rabbi when is blessing your sister, your sister, and were crying. And I told him, why you make her life so miserable? So my father said to that lady, I think that's the last time I see my daughter. It was the last time. She said, you know what? You're by yourself. I take care of you.
What
So long
is her
I live.
name?
Emily Singer. She has 3 children in Israel, you know, the twins, and her daughter. I met them in Israel. And she became sick. She had typhus or something. And who was sick in the barrack went to the Revier in the Krankenbau, where all sick people are going to die. And I asked somebody, our blockover, you know, somebody in the in charge on the break, if I can work there. And because she's dying, I want to bring her some soup. Maybe she will not die when I bring her soup. She said yes. So I was working, helping with the, you know, with the soup. We had such a big, how do you say that? Pails, yes. Well, soup, and I cleaned up with my finger, the whole arm, the rest from that, because I was carrying that, I got a liter more, and I could clean up that, and she got the heavy stuff, what was underneath, and I fed her that she should be alive. But one day she became very sick, and they took her away from me. And I cried very, very much, very, very bitterly, because she was so close, the only person. She really helped me. But she helped me, because she wanted to tell me again, be strong. We will survive. I have children in Israel. You have sisters in Israel. You survived so far. They took away from me. It was also a blessing, because of her. I could see her when she looked in her eyes to me, they'll take me. I said, I can't help you. I ran out. I was laying on her body. And I said, take me instead. Her. And she said, no, I have to take her, not you.
Is that when you got the typhus also?
No, later I got typhus. So she went to a barrack where all sick people laying down on straw, waiting for their death because they didn't get any medication. And I saw lots of bread and soup and margarine laying down next to their head, and nobody touched it. So I thought to myself, look, I'm so hungry, maybe I can help somebody else too. I took, because it was not stealing. Believe me, it was not stealing. She didn't do it, she was not unconscious, she was just waiting for it. Dad took the bread and came to the barrack, and every day I went there and helped other people. They were very hungry. And then, after a day and a half, I found out she's dead. The lady is dead. I couldn't help it. I was so crying. I begged. I said, God help me. Let me die. Let me die. I don't want to live anymore. But it kept in my mind, no, you can't. So the girl from the orchestra, Hilde Grünbaum, now Hilde Simple, she lives in Israel, in Kibbutz, Netzer Sireni. She came to me, she said, come on, what is your name? She said, I saw everything what happened. Oh, by the way, they got a little bit better food, more food, because Kramer, Joseph Kramer, likes them, and they got more food. So she said, don't cry. I'm your big sister, and I watch over you. And look here, 5, 6 girls from the orchestra. She introduced me to all those girls, what they were playing or what they were playing. And we will help you if you come to us. And took me away where that lady was laying down and put me up next to window where they were sleeping. So after a while, they really got me, helped me with talking and giving me mood, and and then and then I became very sick. I got typhus, and they protect me because sick people wouldn't live there. They protect me every time when they were counting. They put something. She put over her body over me, or somebody else. She said everything is okay because she was from the orchestra. They trusted them. She was some elite, some big people. And I couldn't eat so and so because I had typhus. I wanted to drink, and when we heard that, we heard lots of shooting outside, and my friend said, let's run away. I think we are surrounded, the British and other armies, let's run away. And Hilde said, no, we cannot leave Ilse alone. We stay together. And suddenly we heard shooting. The Germans start to shoot still, Holland people and other people. They expect that to still to do. And suddenly I saw and we heard one of our girls, her name is Sylvia, now she's called, they call her Schulamit Wagner. She had a black armband. And it means she's a Läuferin. She could go running back and forth. She found out, she said, oh, we saw a tank. The British are coming. Okay, I looked from the window and I saw the British tank, and they had a loudspeaker. And they said, and then I saw on one side the Lagerkommandant Kramer, Joseph Kramer, barefoot. And on the other side, I saw a soldier with a British uniform, but the Star of David. I used to wear the Star of David in the ghetto, but in yellow, for being killed. And I saw somebody got help us. I couldn't believe it. The Star of David. I was so excited. I couldn't believe it. As a soldier, we went from one place to the other like a herd of cattle chasing us. And they treated us like animals. Worse, I have a dog. I treat him better than they did to me. And suddenly we got free and they talked to us. We should not drink the water. It is poisoning. And also the bread. We have everything. We have bread. We have medication and everything. And they came and right away asked, who is sick? And right away Hilde said me, and they took me and gave me all kinds of shots and whatever. And they cleaned us up, and we had already hair. It's growth already. But they didn't know. They gave lots of people sweet stuff. And they got diarrhea with blood, and they died. I was lucky I couldn't eat because I was sick. I just wanted to drink. And I remember they gave me cans of pears. Oh, it was so delicious. I was dreaming just after the war to have just a piece of bread. But I got the pears. It was so juicy. And until today, when I open a can of pears. I remember how the British doctor gave me the first can of pears, and I love it. And
how did you open those cans?
They opened it. They wanted me to write a book, but it was too painful. I started just to talk about my brother, and I said, no way I can talk anymore.
Ilse, I'm wondering about something. When those girls, Hilda and her friends, hid you in the orchestra, how was it that you were able to disappear in that way? In other words, did they keep careful track of you?
Not too much, because the orchestra was more like elite trusted them.
Right, but how is it you disappeared from your own bunk?
Yes, they took me away.
And
they put somebody else there. I think
I
so.
see.
I didn't know. I don't know, because the ladies died too. She was next to me. Hilda didn't want me to remember that lady. But it was also, you know, now I found out where to get more bread. And that is what happened to Anna Frank. She came to a Krankenbau. They didn't give her anything. And she died. Otherwise she would be alive. There was a hunger camp. They didn't, you know, most of hunger people died.
You wanted to talk about Majdanek, and we have just a couple of minutes on this too.
Oh, no, I was working by a crematorium, and I saw lots of shoes there. And when we came to Majdanek, nobody was there again. Everybody got killed already, and we were the last one. We came out from Majdanek, because the Russian, I saw, you know, Majdanek is not in Lublin. It's on the road after Lublin. It's on the, when you come from Lublin, it's on the right side. It's they have gardening there and vegetables, all kind of stuff. And then it's far away is the camp there. And we got our, I worked there in the gardening, and in the crematorium, we saw all kind of toys. We have to select everything. We were the last. And then when we saw they start to burn our what's the name, papers. But I remember I used to work also in the Wäscherei, and you know where clothing is. And I wrote down my name, Ilse Domke. And when my brother-in-law, Freddy's brother, he's a rabbi, when wants to visit Lublin Majdanek, I told him to look on the wall, and he really found my signal. Isn't that something? They gave us wooden shoes, and I lost a wooden shoe because we were running. Suddenly we saw that they were gassing still people, but not Jewish people. There were lots of Russian invalids with one leg and so and so. And they start to kill them. And we have to march from Majdanek to Lublin the other way. But we saw the army, the German army came also that way to Lublin, because the Russian came already there, and it was a fight also. We saw it from far away, cannons, and airplanes, fighters, like the Russian were up and the German down, and then the fighting like this, and shooting like hell. And we have to run in the Chausseegraben. I don't know how you called it. You know, on the road you have a little road. We were running there, but all with Nazi women and Nazi German with trained dog. Nobody could run away. If somebody would run away, would be shot. And I saw lots of people run away. They got shot. We went through Lublin, the city. Lublin was burning, but it was burning, and we went all around Lublin. I remember that was Lublin, and we had to walk this way until we came over the Weikler.
Someplace you had seen an attack on some other girls.
Oh yeah, that was in Majdanek, you see. I forget everything. So many things to say. How can you tell when you are 5 years in those camps, in a half an hour, your life?
You were in 7 camps.
Yeah, I was in 7 camps, and not the easy camps, and always being dead. Oh yeah, in Majdanek, we were girls, and the men were separate and the girls were separate. And the girls next to me were beautiful girls. And the German soldiers, they came and they raped so many girls, and after that they shot them and said they died. And I was lucky they didn't touch me, because I was not pretty, and I was not I was more a child like the other ones. So all miracles. Or I don't know if it's miracles or somebody else watched over me.
It sounds as if you came very, very close to death
Very
several times.
Yes.
And then just something shifted you.
I don't know. Maybe those people who got killed, they saved me. I don't know what it is, or my parents.
Mm-hmm. You have about 2 more minutes on this tape, Ilse. Is there something you want to say?
I want to
here?
read it, can I? But then they will see it, no?
If you want to read it, you have a right to do that.
But I want really to read it because they will be mixed up. That's what I wrote here. Thank you. After the liberation, I was like a stone. I could not laugh a long time. My emotion turned to great sadness, cried a lot, and I was remember my beloved parents, sisters, relatives, my best girlfriends. I left them all behind me. I was like a stone. They were not able to be free. It took me a long time to be adjusted again for a normal life. I was not able to stay in the movie theater, and whatever has to do with music or happiness. When I heard happiness, I start to cry. In the camps I couldn't cry. Now I start to cry. Then I was standing all by myself. The friends, they said, "Come on, let's go together." I said, "No, I want to be alone." I went away from them. I was reading books, they got us books in Bergen-Belsen, and after the war. And I was sitting and crying, and then I thought myself, "Come on." And Hilde came to me, "Ilse, push up. Go in the theater, start to cry, but stay inside, and don't go out." And I did it.
We'll stop now on this tape, and then they'll put on the next tape.
Other tape?
Yeah, another piece of tape.
Stop now. Where was my last one?
About halfway down the page, I think you were.
My sentence came out and before I have
You're talking about you couldn't laugh.
Oh, when Hilda asked you to sit in the theater, even if you couldn't participate, to at least stay there and not isolate yourself.
Yeah,
Okay.
Again I want to say, in the camps I was like a stone, very, like paralyzed. I couldn't laugh and not cry. Sometimes I cried, but most of the time not. Then, now I cried because I had nobody for my family. Okay, now I'm free and I have no more to be frightened for death. Not to smell anymore the odor from burning people, to see the red days and night, red skies, and screaming from the train. The train came to Auschwitz right away, and I used to work next to the crematorium. I saw them, and we begged them, throw us something over, food, because you're going to death, and they wouldn't believe it. And now I'm free. But I think guilt was not only the Germans. The whole world knew about it, but nobody cared about us. I could not understand how people can be so violent to any human beings. I faced that many times, and I can say my whole life was a miracle. Still don't understand exactly why I was chosen to be alive. A survivor's testimony is more important than anything that can be written about survivors, because I went it through. People were writing books also, but who was reading it, not the feelings what I did. But I went through. Okay, I was in, from Bergen-Belsen. They were, because I was still a child, they wanted to take me to Switzerland to go to school. But I refused. I wanted to stay with those girls from the Kapelle, from the orchestra, together. We wanted to go just to Israel, but in Israel were the British, and they didn't let us in. Then we heard one time we heard from the joint that was in Bergen-Belsen. They told, in Bergen-Belsen, before I want to start, there were lots of lists to see from the survivors, but I couldn't find anybody. Also from my city Stettin, we were 1,300, just 7 that were underlined. In Bergen-Belsen, then we found out Josef Rosensaft. I don't know if you know him. He was a big macher to help out people to go to other countries. And I wanted to go to Israel, and I found out also that I have 2 sisters in Israel. So we found out that in Geringshof is a Hachshara place. And if you together with a group, you have a chance to go with the Aliyah to Israel. We were there. I met my husband there also. He came to Bergen-Belsen. He was looking for a sister. And I don't know, he was very intelligent, and he was so brave, because he talked to us that he is going to look for a sister. And I thought, how can he find his sister? How can he go to the Russians? He can be killed again. Because he was so brave, and we got packages from the Red Cross from Switzerland. And I knew he got a little bit chocolate, and he liked it very much. So I said, okay, I will put in his jacket a little chocolate. He will have a sweet way, and he will find his sister if he wants to. And he found out that I gave him the chocolate. He came back to us, and he said, who put in the chocolate? And Hilde was smiling to me, but I didn't tell her that. But he found out I was it. So he had already a little pick on me. But in Geringshof, I found lots of people from the Jewish army. And a very young, handsome man. He was a lieutenant in the American army. His name is Yecheskel Slutsky. He came to us and helped us a lot. He found out that we want to go to Israel. Himself, he was 25 years old.
And how old were you?
16. He smuggled all kinds of guns that we should have. We should be armed. We should fight back. This guy really could be killed or be in jail, because why he did it for? He had such a feelings to our Jewish people that he has to do it, like I did it with the bread. So after a while we became closer. I liked him very much, but he talked only. He was born in Israel. He talked Hebrew and English, a little bit Jewish, but I was very shy, and I thought I will never get to him. But I had such a feeling I like him very much. One day he said to my friend, Regina Pacha is her name, also from the orchestra, in Jewish, to tell me in German that I should not go to Israel. His mother lives in America, and they will adopt me, and I should go to school, because in Israel is one war after the other, and enough is enough. I should go to have freedom. But I know I have 2 sisters in Israel, and he knew one of my sisters also. And I didn't listen to him, but after he left, I felt that something is in I liked him very much. And since then, I never heard about him. But now I know he's around. In this very happy marriage, wonderful wife, children, grandchildren. But we are still in contact with each other. Okay, in Bergen-Belsen, Freddie came back. One transport went to Israel with illegally. The other one, they give us a chance illegally. For that, this Yecheskel helped us. We went to France on trucks, like Germans, covered, and Yecheskel helped us with the guns, and lots of brigade, they helped us, they went with us. They were sitting in front of us in case if we go to the border to see who's there, like soldiers. We all are soldiers. We came on a ship, it's called Tel Chai. It was a it was for freight. Freight? Freight. And we went there almost 2 weeks. We almost sank. Okay, after all, the British airplane caught us on the border in Israel, and they sent us to we came with that ship to Atlit. That is a camp where the British were around. I said, again a camp. And who was next to me? Freddie. All the time he was next to me. And after that, I found out, my sister found out that I'm alive. No, this Yecheskel let my sister know in Israel that I'm alive. Everything he did. And at least we had made a list. We have relatives and so on. I found out that my sisters are around. They found out that we are there, but they never visit me in Atlit. So I thought myself, maybe they don't want me. Maybe they don't want to know what's going on. What was there? So I talked to myself, I said, no, I go to be studying, to Nahalal, to go to school. Okay. We were...
Is that a kibbutz?
No. Freddie went to the kibbutz, and I went with 30 other children, my age and a little bit older, to go to Nahalal, to finish my high school. And we went by buses. By the bus station in Haifa, we were standing there to wait for the other bus that goes to Nahalal, to the school. Suddenly 2 girls came to me. They asked me if I know Ilse Diament. It was me. Couldn't recognize me. The oldest one saw me when I was 4 or 5 years old. We started to cry, but I saw my uncle, my cousin, he was looking exactly like my father. So I had something in common, oh my goodness, and I ran to them. And they came to me and they said who I am. They said, no, you don't go away from us, you stay with us in Haifa. So I went to Haifa, maybe for 1-2 years. But something was missing. I wanted to go to a group. My sisters had to work very hard. One was a manicurist and the other one was a hairdresser. And I didn't want that you should feel pity for me. I wanted to work or wanted to go to school.
How did it feel to find them, to see?
I was I don't know. It was like, is it really? I know they are in Israel, but I was disappointed and happy. Because I was disappointed why they never came to see me in Atlit. Because Freddie's brother came to see me in Atlit, and other people too. I never got a letter from them.
Did you ever ask them?
No. I don't know. And I felt like I had not so much in common like with my sister, my friends from Auschwitz. And I couldn't live that life. And so I went one day, I went back to school, and they didn't want, Hannah Meisel was there, the director, very good friend from Dr. Weizmann. And she said, I'm sorry, you cannot come, you came too late. And I cried in the back, and I said, I cannot live in the city. And I don't understand my sisters, they are very nice to me and helping me out. But I cannot hear when they're fighting, who will pay for me for dresses and this. And I didn't want it. So I said, no, I want to be by my own. I want to go to studying, what Yecheskel told me, and I want to become a mensch. They said, okay, you will study, and half day studying, and half day you go in the army. We have to learn training. And also in school. So I was the best in school because I wanted to be always the best. And in the army, I found a man. He was teaching us. He fell in love with me, but I couldn't forget the other one. And that is my... Then later, after that, I came to the kibbutz back, and I met Freddie again there. And we were also shomrim, it means we were guards on the kibbutz because the Arabs came. Our kibbutz, we didn't have enough bullets, but we had guns. So Freddie, one night, they fixed us up that Freddie has to watch and I have to watch with a hand grenade. I was good in hand grenades. And it was shooting from all places, and I was so frightened, so I ran close to Freddie. And we came too close, so we got married soon after that. Happy ending.
And when did you come to the United States? How did that come about?
Gosh. The United States we came in 59.
And you had then the 3 children?
I had 2 children in Israel. We were on the farm. First, we were in the kibbutz. And then we went to a farm, Kvara Victor. We have to build our own houses, the men, I mean. And it was very hard, but we liked it because it was our country. And I wanted to do everything what had to do with Israel. I was so close. And then we came from the farm, we went to Haifa. I couldn't stay in the farm because I had heart problem from typhus. And the sun and hard work was too much for me. I almost fainted all the time. I had 2 children there. Ilse Diament, very handsome guy now. Amalia Diament, very pretty young lady. And then I came to Israel and I got pregnant again with 2 other children. Yes. Stevie, very handsome young man, very, very close to me. All my children very close to me, especially to me. And then the last one was Ilana. They all got names from my parents, and Ilana is the name of my mother's. My mother's name was in Hebrew Miriam. Her second name is Miriam. Ilana means a beautiful bush in Israel, all season and blooms. Yehuda is Freddie's brother. He was a hero, got killed, and very devoted to all of us. Has a lovely wife, beautiful, lovely wife, and a beautiful grandchild, Ricky. It's unbelievable how beautiful. And she is so nice to me, like my own daughter. And Stevie is called after Freddie's father in Hebrew, Shimon. His name is Stevie Shimon. That like all our souls are still around. And Amalia is after Freddie, my husband's mother. So we all are still around.
No, you talked with me about God and about the religious feelings of your family. Some thoughts about
that? After, when I was always in dangers, my prayer, because my parents always taught us not to use God otherwise, only in prayers. So I always said, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Help us, God. Help us. Let us survive. And it really, it helped me. And it was like somebody helps me. Somebody is behind me. I had nobody behind me. And I couldn't understand. My parents were religious. Why he died? Is it because they never went to Israel? Because other reason couldn't be.
Those that went to Shanghai made it. Huh?
Yes.
Did they go to Israel too?
No.
Somebody's right there in Stockton.
Yeah, they live now in Stockton. Every time my uncle sees me, he cries. He reminds me of his sister, who was my mother.
You mentioned something about when you were at the American gathering and we were riding in the buses.
Yes, you remember you were behind me? We went to the World Gathering to Washington, D.C. And from the airport, I went with my husband, my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, and my neighbor, Ronnie and Kurt, and Flo. And when we came to Washington, to the airport, they took us, we took a taxi, or bus, I forgot, a bus, to the city, Washington. It was so beautiful. And my neighbor said, look how gorgeous this is. Both sides were forced. I suddenly started to cry. So she said, what's the matter, Ilse? I said, nothing. She said, come on, what's the matter? So I told her, it reminded me from the camps. There was a mass grave. They killed innocent children, people, everybody. Now, then, I went to Stockton to visit my uncle. And it was a wedding for my cousin. And my daughter-in-law said, I want to go home to my baby. And we went by our car back home. And from the night, and it was so quiet. And I saw from far away lights and houses. And I started to cry again. So Shelley asked me, what's the matter with you? I said, nothing. So later I told my son, I said, Jeff, you know, it reminds me so much when we went by cattle car, wagon train, and we didn't know where, we know we're going to death. And I saw from far away houses with lights, stars on the sky, not the red sky. Remind me, come on, look at it. How happy people can be, poor or rich. They have life, they have freedom. And I have to go with a train to the death. It was very, very painful. This pain will never go away from me. It stays forever. But at home, my children don't know, most of them, they don't know about it. If they wouldn't go to Hebrew school or confirmation class, when they saw all kind of films, otherwise they would never know.
You don't talk to them about
I don't
this.
talk about it. If they would ask me, I would. Sometimes Stevie asked me, why? And tell me, I told him. He said, poor mommy, I love you. You are not only my mother, you are also my friend. Always he said it to me. Or Ilana, she did my youngest, she said, mommy, don't cry, we will make you happy. I will have grandchildren, you will be very, very happy. Jeff, I don't know, he doesn't want that I should remember this stuff.
Jeff is Yehuda?
Yeah, he's the oldest. I'm very, very proud of my family.
Some words that you might want to wrap this up with. Anything you want to end with?
I'm afraid I will have nightmares again.
Yeah.
Does that still
But
occur?
that goes away. But nobody can feel my pain. I hope it will never, never happen to my children, to all the generation what happened. Never again. And if something happens, we should fight. We should fight back and not go like a herd of animals through the fire and tell the story. I wish only we can make a Haggadah and tell all the people to make it one day or a whole week that all fathers should tell this youngest child the story what we all went through, like they all went by themselves through Auschwitz. That is really my biggest wish. We should never forget those innocent.
You're working
people.
towards having
My husband
such a
is working
Haggadah
for that. My husband Freddie is working for that, and I hope he will do
for
it.
a special
Because
day.
so long I live, I want to see that we should all be free and having a day for all memories of those people who couldn't be with us.